Hello guys, welcome again to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews. Today we're looking at the most recent chapter of Bleach, chapter 678. And I always tend to talk a little bit about myself. And remember how I said in my previous video for One Piece I was expecting deliveries for some comics today or tomorrow? This is my invoice slip. There's my email address, my contact number, do not ring me. All these arrived today. So, to kind of give you a bit of a background, obviously being a fan of manga and anime, I've also been a fan of superheroes, cartoons, the DC universe, the Marvel universe as well. And started collecting some of the DC New 52 stuff, which is like the Flash, Superman, things like that, Batman as well, a little bit. It got to a point where they've rehashed or kind of done a convergence or a type of rebirth of the universe to kind of fall in line with the movies that they're planning. So they've done a series called the Rebirth series, which restarts everything. So there's like a series of all the main characters, the Aquamans, or people that are basically going to be in Justice League. So Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern and people like that. So they've all got their own kind of rehashing of the story, I guess. So interesting enough, I've started subscribing to those on forbiddenplanet.com or .co.uk. Not subscribed by them, just telling you. And they've sent me loads of stuff, which obviously you have to pay for. But considering that you get first editions and everything else, which may later be a collectible, it's good to have. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get into this review. So this chapter, although it wasn't surprising in a sense, it was surprising in a sense. So I'll talk about the part that wasn't so surprising. So the idea that his Bankai is a combination of both of them. It looks kind of like the saber slash cleaver type, but he's got his full ring chain that kind of represent the hollow. It's a black and white to indicate the black and the white, as in the Quincy and the hollow abilities in there as well. And he's got a Shinigami garb. So the idea of him having something similar to that wasn't very as surprising. Cool as hell, do not get me wrong, I'm sure it was powerful as hell, but wasn't as surprising. However, what happened after that was surprising as hell. And it kind of explained the idea of why Hashwell was like, seeing the future isn't the terrifying thing of his ability, it's what happens after. So we see a panel and Ichigo goes like, yeah, I'm the man, I've got my Bankai. And then you see the exact same panel with a chunk missing, literally straight away. And Ichigo goes like, is it broken? I don't feel any of his Reiatsu. He didn't even move, what's happened? And his sword's broken, he's been chopped in half. And then his horn's broken and he's chopped in half. And then somehow he gets behind him, slashes him, puts him down, and he doesn't even realise what's happened. And then Inoue tries to help and he still gets cut without anything happening. And then he explains, the power of Almighty, of A, isn't the power just to see the future. It's the power to transform the future. To transform the future. That is OP as hell, if you think about it. Because he's not having to do anything and he's already doing something just by controlling the future. It's the whole part, that time travel, time manipulation, paradox, situation. But if he has full control of this bad boy, there's no limit to what he can do. There's a few things he does do though. He specifically says, I acknowledge your power. It's truly fearsome, and this is my acknowledgement. So he tried to take away this power by destroying the sword, by destroying his horn, by trying to take a chunk out of him to get rid of his garb. Because ultimately takes away the fusion of his Reiatsu or Reishi. It takes away his hollow powers. It also takes away some of his Shinigami powers by damaging him. What does this mean moving forward? Because that's really the summary of the chapter. That's pretty much it. That's literally what happens. That's everything in a couple of minutes. That's not the crazy part. What happens next? A few things come to mind. You probably know this guy. He does One Piece, he does Fairy Tail. He's a bit overly enthusiastic, as you can imagine, but the guy does a good job. Cole, the King of Lightning, would love this, but he made a video talking about potential abilities of Ichigo. Now, they won't write in this chapter, but that's not to say they won't be right in the future. The idea that he's using these abilities and they're getting taken away from him shows he respects the danger. Well, back to us, respects the dangers they pose. That's number one. Number two, it means he needs something more. Because bearing in mind, I was talking about this yesterday with somebody. I was talking about the abilities he has. A lot of the abilities are only scratching the surface of what he can do. Initially with his Shinigami stuff, he had his hand-to-hand combat. He became a master swordsman. He learned Shumpo, but he doesn't really use any of his Hados and them type of techniques. The name of them type of styles I forget. The incarnations, he doesn't use any of it. And then he learned this advanced flash step Shumpo when he basically went to the Zero Division, right? But then he's part of Hollow, so he's got that Hollow type of flash step, and he's got the Quincy type of flash step that he hasn't even tapped into. So there's probably going to be a melding of them type of techniques. Also, the Blut Vein and all those other techniques that the Quincy has, he hasn't been using those. So there's a lot. If you go into all the different areas, there's a lot of different things going on. Then you got the extension of the Hollow stuff with the Fullbringer stuff, techniques. There's a lot of stuff out there that he doesn't use. An example of that is his heritage from his father's side. Shinigami, yes, but also part of the Shiba clan. As Cole mentions in his design for the Bankai, that there's got to be that somewhere, because you got to bear in mind, although Kain Shiba was the leader of that family, his uncle, so a branch family, was Ichigo's dad, Ishin. So that he has the same bloodline. He comes from the same family. He has to have those same abilities somehow. He might not have inherited them all, but he must have some somewhere. So I think what's going to happen, bearing in mind, Ishin's there, Ishida's dad's there, Ganju's somewhere about, and the Fullbringers are somewhere about. I think them being in the same area, going in the same path Ichigo is going to defeat Bach, will become helpful, and they will give him their power. That's what I think is going to happen. Anyway, I'm leaving that with you for you to make up your own mind. I like to throw a bit of speculation sometimes when I have these short videos. Please, if you enjoyed this chapter, let me know in the comment section below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my review and my speculation. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm getting all tongue twisted. I'm fasting. It's 4 p.m. right now. I've got 5 or 6 hours to go. As you can imagine, I'm getting all dry and dehydrated, so bear with us. Anyway, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Show your support by commenting below and let me know what you think of this chapter. I know a lot of people shit on Bleach, but the best is yet to come. Bleach will resurrect itself. I don't know about the anime, but the manga's doing really well. Peace.